Late news. Ray's Apple Market closes after 8 years. K-State students are welcomed back from spring break with snow, and K-State welcomes a new head coach.
As well as our animal guest.
It is sunny and cold outside today, but how long will it stay that way?
Let's go out to our weatherman Lance Leonard to see what it's like outside. Lance?
Thanks, guys. It's a pretty day out. It's really nice. It's a little chilly. Still got some snow on the ground. If you take a look here, we got a little remnant of the snow civilization, I guess you could say. I'm a little disappointed to see him go. He's a real chill guy. I'm going to miss him a lot, but it's going to warm up later this week. He's probably going to disappear, but we'll have more on that later in the forecast.
This is Channel 8 News, KKSU LP. For Manhattan and Riley County. From Kansas State University, this is Channel 8 News.
Welcome to Channel 8 News. I'm Jason Beets.
And I'm John Zetmeyer. Coming up on today's show, Ray's Apple Market closes its doors, spring break goes by fast for K-State students, and this week's weather forecast.
But first, the news. The Pottawatomie County Sheriff's Department reported a call that a communication tower collapsed Tuesday. 2 workers were in the air at least 250 feet high when the collapse happened. 1 worker was pronounced dead at the scene, and the other died later at the hospital. Dean of K-State's College of Veterinary Medicine is stepping down. Rolf C. Richardson announced his plan to step down no later than July 2015. He is allowing the university time to conduct an orderly search. Richardson will remain as a faculty member when his position is replaced. He has served as the college's dean since the summer of 1998. What is a fireable tweet? A reprimandable Facebook post? The Kansas State Board of Regents' social media policy has left many wondering.
Channel 8 reporter Kathy Dahl brings us the latest on the story, which has garnered national attention.
Thanks, guys. Before spring break, we brought you the story of concerned professors and students speaking out against the Board of Regents' new social media policy. We were able to meet with the Assistant Director of Communication and Government Relations for the Board of Regents, Breeze Richardson, who was glad to share their side of the story.
This is the tweet that started it all. The blood is on the hands of the NRA. Next time, let it be yours, sons and daughters. Shame on you. May God damn you. KU professor David Goose's tweet was sent out on his personal Twitter account in response to the Naval Shipyard shooting in September of last year. He was immediately suspended with pay, but KU was unable to fire him for the tweet.
I have been repeatedly quoted as saying that it was absolutely the impetus for this.
The Kansas Board of Regents responded by creating a policy that prohibits the improper use of social media. At the center of the controversy surrounding the social media policy is the right to free speech for all Kansas higher education faculty and employees.
At the crux of this is that it's really hard to say you can say this and you can't say this because it's not 9 to 5 and it's not with X, Y, and Z elements criteria met.
It took the Regents 3 months to create this policy. It was not done quickly.
That it was written from a posturing that it would be legally defensible.
Freedom of speech is American. It's the reason I went to Vietnam.
Ms. Richardson said that this policy was written to give guidance to college administrators.
Kathy, do other states have policies like these?
Actually, I researched that, and many other universities do have a social media policy. Universities such as Colorado State and Princeton University have policies that speak specifically to the operation of university accounts. Oregon State and Michigan University address personal accounts and offer reminders or tips when posting on a personal account, as well as guidelines for using university accounts. Oregon made a point of acknowledging that the blending of public and private communications is a reality. What I did find was that other university policies were not as broad as the current policy handed down by the Kansas Board of Regents.
Ms. Richardson mentioned that the policy was written to be legally defensible in the court of law. Should this put faculty and staff on alert?
That is another great question. This policy was crafted using Supreme Court case law. 5 of the 10 regents are lawyers, and what they have created is a policy that they expect will be upheld against potential legal action. The policy speaks about balancing the interests of the university against the employees' rights to speak on matters of public concern. I have met with K-State professors as well as Ms. Richardson, and there is definitely reason to be concerned. None of the other policies that I reviewed were as broad, and even other policies from the Kansas Board of Regents are more clearly outlined than the social media policy. And that is the biggest concern of the professors I've spoken to. A work group will be presenting proposed amendments to the Board of Regents on April 16th in Topeka, and we'll have to see what comes of those recommendations.
Thanks, Kathy.
Yeah.
Police are investigating a report of possible arson in the 2000 block of Claflin Road. RCPD became the victim of this crime after a small fire was started near a building. In addition, firefighters responded to 2016 Shirley Lane for a fire which caused over $20,000 in damage. The investigation is still ongoing. A week after multiple drugs busts in Manhattan and Junction City, RCPD has initiated an investigation into the unlawful manufacture of drugs. This is the result of an ongoing investigation into the distribution of illegal drugs in the Riley County area. At this time, no further information has been released.
A Manhattan man now has an interesting story to tell after he was suspected in a local robbery. Channel 8 reporter Abby Dodson went out to try to figure out exactly what happened during the incident.
Imagine answering your door to find a SWAT team on your doorstep. That's what happened to Brian Pellis.
I was getting ready for work. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I heard this bang at the door. I heard, open up, we got a search warrant. And so I go to the front door, and there was SWAT at the front door, and they took me outside and handcuffed me.
Pellis was named a suspect in the robbery of a local grocery store because of his connection with a store employee. He was suspected because his appearance was similar to that of the perpetrators based on security footage.
And then there's about 20 cops around the house. They had search warrants. They went through the house and, searched it. But then they took us to the police station for about 3 hours for questioning. Like, you did it. Like, did what? Like, robbed the store. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, you robbed Ray's Apple Market. It's like, no, I didn't. And then they let us go.
The robbery took place early last month when the armed robbers took off with an undetermined amount of money. Pellis claims he's never been to Ray's Apple Market.
And my roommate's brother was working there at the time and was held up. And so I'm guessing that they suspected us, like, working together or something like that.
Pellis's experience is one he won't soon forget.
It was kind of it's an interesting experience, for sure. I kind of look back at it now and kind of laugh about it. An apology would be kind of nice, once they get the case closed and they're 100% certain it's not me.
Until then, Pellis will try to make his life as normal as possible, but he will never forget the knock at his door that one February morning. For Channel 8 News, this is Abby Dodson.
According to Matthew Droege of the Riley County Police Department, the investigation of the robbery is still ongoing. He can neither confirm nor deny whether Brian Pellis is still a suspect in this case. We're going to take a quick break, but coming back, sunny skies and tan lines. We'll take a look at some K-State students and how they spent their spring break.
And later in the show, one Kansas rancher makes his home where the buffalo roam.
Look at me. I'm so cute and cuddly. I'm also very charming. I'll tell you what you want to hear and sweep you off your feet. I'm also spontaneous, maybe a little erratic at times. I take risks most people wouldn't, but that makes me fun. I'm also very persuasive. I can convince you to do something you'd never dream of doing. And you'll love my stories. I usually stretch the truth a little bit, but you'll believe me because I'm such a good liar. I'm never wrong, and I never feel guilty. I always win, but just look how cute and innocent I look. I can fool you, your parents. I can even fool your friends. Trust me.
Who is going to help safely feed 9 billion people in the year 2050? Who will design sustainable cities that can flourish? Who is going to shed light on dark matter and origins of the universe? Where will we teach the scientists who will engineer our future? At one of the world's top research universities, Kansas State University.
Welcome back. Though we are seeing these new restaurants opening on the east side of town, this area is also home to a restaurant that has been here for half a century. Vista Drive-In will celebrate this landmark by offering half-price Vista burgers and hot fudge brownie a la mode April 6th through the 9th. During the past 50 years, Vista has perfected the hamburger and still managed to keep that old-fashioned feel.
There have been changes to the east side of Manhattan. The opening of Kentucky Fried Chicken and the new McDonald's have traffic near 4th and Bluemont backed up. However, the opening of these fast food joints means more options for poor college students like us. It also means more jobs for the east side of the community.
Local downtown Ray's Apple Market has closed their doors after more than 8 years here in Manhattan.
Channel 8 News reporter Katie Watkins got a chance to speak with the owner himself, and she is now with us in the studio.
That's right, Jason. He gave me a brief history on Ray's Apple Market and really talked about how it's made its mark on the community.
It was 34 years ago that owner Mike Flourish proved that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
My father started a business in 1965. I was probably 13 years old. Kind of grew up in it, worked every Saturday during my high school years. Went to 1 year of college and decided I knew what I wanted to do.
Flourish opened his own grocery store in 1980 and since then has opened 8 locations, 2 here in Manhattan, with his parents' philosophy of good customer service being the driving force.
My mom and dad just portrayed you take care of people and they'll take care of you. So that's been our philosophy. And I know everybody doesn't get up in the morning and say, we got to go grocery shopping. So we have to make the experience the best we can.
Closing this store was not an easy decision, but Ray's Apple Market is not leaving Manhattan. Flourish is looking forward to the future of their West location.
We'll move ahead. Today's fine. It's just that's the way business is. It doesn't always work out the way you want it to, but we're going to put a lot of our force into the West store. We just, again, need a little more traffic, so we're going to do what we can and do some different promotions and promote ourselves as strong as we can.
Flourish also wants to focus his efforts on various charity organizations in Manhattan. After being a part of the community for nearly a decade, he wants to give back.
What's his connection to Manhattan?
Well, both of his kids went to K-State, and he's had his 2 stores here in Manhattan, so he really feels a part of the community.
Did he say anything about what will happen to the inventory in his store?
Yes, the store is officially closed. However, during limited hours only, the store will be open until all the inventory is gone.
Thanks, Katie.
The GOP leaders in the Kansas House of Representatives look to introduce a bill addressing funding in poor school districts. The cost will be around $129 million that will work towards improving 2 areas of funding that were deemed unconstitutional by the state Supreme Court.
As you all know, we just got back from what was supposed to be a week away from school, but seemed as though we were barely gone for a few days. Reporter Morgan Hulsman is here to tell us what all the students were doing over the last week.
Although there were seemed to be some wild stories, it seems like everyone had a great time away from school. Now the struggle. There were people in places all over the country, and some were doing things that were definitely wouldn't have expected. Check it out.
For some people, spring break is about going on vacation with their families, and for others, it's about going to the hottest party spots in the nation. Florida, Gulf Shores, Alabama, South Padre Island, Texas, Turner Falls, and Kansas City, Missouri for the NAIA tournament, where among some of the spots our news crew visited. Some students got away with no jail visits or ER runs, but one student managed to get his hands a little messy from having a little too much fun, and another student was purposely in the hospital to get his gallbladder removed. Every person's spring break is different, and students certainly made the best of their week away from school. From dining out, to spending or earning lots of cash, to taking 15-hour-long car rides, the adventures were endless. But those adventures quickly came to an end, and students were welcomed back to K-State with a huge gift from Mother Nature, snow. If the Monday after spring break wasn't already hard enough, the snow sure made students want to skip out of town for another vacation.
Although there were some wild stories, it seems like everyone had a great time away from school. Now the struggle will be pushing through the rest of the semester.
Sure sounds like most of our class had more fun than having their gallbladder removed. Thanks, Morgan. Right after this break, we'll see what critter the Sunset Zoo has brought for us this week.
And a look at K-State sports. Stay tuned on Channel 8 News.
Around here, school pride isn't just some slogan on a t-shirt. It's the spirit that comes from understanding we are stronger when we're together. That's the essence of K-State Proud, a nationally recognized student-led fundraising campaign. In just 6 years, K-State Proud has helped raise more than $500,000 to help students who need it most and appreciate it best. Think of it as Philanthropy 101. K-State Proud. It's just one more way the Kansas State family treats one another, well, like family. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. Class, study. Class, eat. Play, play, play. Study. Class, chill. Class, eat. Study, play, study. Sometimes it seems there just aren't enough hours in the day at our 3 campuses, so you have to make every minute count, especially those precious first few. That's why Kansas State alum Herbert Diamond invented the snooze alarm, a dorm room fixture. Because even when you can't wait to get started, sometimes it's nice to wait to get started. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
We are joined on set by the Sunset Zoo. Who do you have with us today?
This is a crested gecko.
Wow. What's his name? Tell us a little bit about him.
His name is Tana. Crested geckos are native to the island of New Caledonia, which is off the coast of Australia. It's a kind of a small area that they're actually native to, but they're a pretty big animal in the pet export kind of community, so a lot of people do keep them as pets. They don't make the best pets. You really should do your research, but they're a really good education animal. There's lots of interesting kind of fun facts about them. We've probably seen the gecko on TV, on the commercials, but in real life they look a lot different. One really cool thing, they don't actually have eyelids, so to clean their eyes they have to lick their eye with their tongue. So we might get to see him do that as we watch him.
So he doesn't talk in a British accent or anything like that?
No, he doesn't usually say a whole lot.
So is he a reptile or an amphibian or?
Yeah, that's a really good question. He actually is a reptile. He has dry, pretty scaly skin. He actually sheds his skin like snakes do. He's actually about to shed his skin very soon. You can see how it's getting it's actually kind of coming apart actually right here. He was probably going to shed today, so when I picked him up to bring him, I noticed he was a really light color. So this will all come off probably later on today. They do have really tiny, small claws, which you probably won't be able to see, but they are there, unlike amphibians who don't have any claws. So yeah, he technically is a reptile.
And then how often does he shed his skin?
Not very often. Usually once every 3 to 4 months probably.
So from New Caledonia, correct? Mm-hmm. So that's some trip that this guy has made, or at least one of his parents, or?
Yeah, way in the past probably. Like I said, many of them are in the pet trade, so they are bred locally. Different breeders will have them for sale. I'm not exactly sure where this individual came from. We've had him for quite a while, and one way to tell we've had him for a while, he's actually missing his tail. It's kind of hard to see his whole body because he's little, but yeah, so their tail can come off from their body as a defense mechanism against predators. So his came off some years ago, and it doesn't hurt them at all. It's just a natural defense mechanism they have.
And as we can see, the skin's coming right off.
It is, yes. I'm helping him out here. He's doing the job for him.
Right, awesome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yep, thanks.
Hey, John. Do you know what a mother buffalo says to her son buffalo when he leaves for K-State?
No, Jason, I do not believe I do. But let's take a look at one Kansas rancher who says a lot to his buffalo. I took a trip 20 miles down the road to see just what it's like to be a buffalo farmer. We're out here in Westmoreland, Kansas, about 25 miles east of campus. And as you can see, we're out here at the Lazy Heart D Buffalo Ranch. Let's head on in there and meet some buffalo. It takes a special type of farmer to do what Ed Dillinger has been doing for over 2 decades.
I also knew I wanted to do something like a grandpa's farm. And I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have a few bison out there? Be a novel. And that's when I began to do my homework, visit some other ranches. And I said, I think I can do the real thing.
Dillinger has a lot of passion for his buffalo, but he reminds us that these aren't your typical farm animals.
But they're an interesting breed to work with. They're a wild animal. Wild animals are reading your body language all the time, so you need to be reading theirs, and that way you have fewer surprises. But I find them interesting to just hang out with.
You can take a tour of Ed's ranch. All you have to do is give Ed a call to set something up or visit his website at lazyheartdranch.weebly.com. For Channel 8 News, I'm John Zetmeyer.
Wow, John, that was interesting. By the way, a mother buffalo tells her son buffalo, "Bye, son."
Oh, that's clever. Jason, that was a real news slapper. But I do recommend that everyone take a trip out to the Lazy Heart D Ranch.
Now we're joined by our weather forecaster, Lance Leonard, to tell us what to expect in the week ahead.
Well, it's definitely going to be warming up. I don't think the gecko would really like the weather out right now. It's a little chilly. There's still some snow on the ground. If we take a look outside, we can probably still see the snowman. Oh, and it does not look like he's faring very well out there. Looks like someone, oh man, he's a little top heavy. But we'll take a look at our national temperatures just real quick. Waiting for that to come up. And up here in Seattle, it's going to be 43 degrees the high today. And 57 degrees down in California, and then over here and the east side of the country, you got 45 in Florida, and then Kentucky's 33, and it gets a little colder as you go up. If we look at the national forecast, you'll see it's cloudy up in Seattle, and really kind of got a low front coming up from the west. If you look over down in Florida, partly sunny up into like the Great Lakes area, and the Midwest, which is what's really important, we'll slip to that, is going to be partly cloudy all week. But today, sunny in Colby, Kansas, warm, going to be some winds, 73 degrees. Down in Garden City, sunny, 68. If you look over here in Manhattan, 62 and 78 in Kansas City. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. And it's going to be partly cloudy today with a high of 61. Tonight's going to be partly cloudy with a low of 43. Thursday we might see a bit of chance of thunderstorms. And as we move on into the week, it's going to warm up and reaching a high of 76 on Sunday. So it's going to be warm for the weekend, shorts weather. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Lance. Coming up next, a look at how the Cats are doing in the sports world.
I like K-State mainly for the family atmosphere.
Once you're here, you're greeted with a smiling face. You could step onto K-State's campus and feel that without even talking to anyone, that it's welcoming.
The administrators and faculty, they remember your name.
Anywhere you go, someone's there to help you and to smile at you.
Half of campus is going to be wearing purple, and you know that there's that K-State pride.
It's really evident that you can do something and you can be somebody and you can really define yourself here.
I'm a part of the campus.
K-State to me is home.
And that kind of gives me a sense of place.
Who is going to help safely feed 9 billion people in the year 2050? Who will design sustainable cities that can flourish? Who is going to shed light on dark matter and origins of the universe? Where will we teach the scientists who will engineer our future? At one of the world's top research universities, Kansas State University.
Kenya, Africa. A baby elephant is trapped in a water hole. Researchers rush to the rescue, and a 400-pound baby elephant and its agitated, dangerous mother are finally reunited. One of those researchers is K-State alumnus Mark Sowers. While at K-State, he used telemetry to study bison on the Konza Prairie Biological Station, a skill he now uses to study and help elephants, his lifelong dream. That's the Wildcat way.
Channel 8 news reporter Molly Cooper is here with sports.
Yeah, Molly, how have those K-State teams been looking right now?
It's been an eventful week in K-State sports. After the hunt for a new women's basketball coach,
The search finally has ended as Jeff Mittie, the former TCU head coach, was named the K-State women's head coach on March 18th. A press conference was held on March 24th to welcome Mittie to the family. Mittie brings to the table an average of 21 wins per season. He spent his last 15 years as the head coach for the Horned Frogs. The K-State men's basketball team had the ball in their court during this year's NCAA tournament in a Wildcat versus Wildcat duel. Unfortunately, K-State lost to Kentucky by a score of 56-49. The Wildcats finished the season 2013, their 8th straight 20-win season. The Batcats opened Big 12 play this past weekend in Norman, Oklahoma to take on the Oklahoma Sooners. After dropping the first 2 games in the 3-game series, K-State was able to avoid the sweep by defeating Oklahoma 5-0. Freshman Nate Greep tossed a complete shutout game. Following the strong performance, Greep earned the Big 12 Newcomer of the Week award. Greep is 2-0 on the season with a 1.79 ERA.
It'll be interesting to see what the Lady Cats do with Jeff Mittie on the sideline, that's for sure.
I look forward to attending a couple games next year.
All right, thanks, Molly.
Yeah.
Stay with us for a last look at the weather.
We'll be right back.
Since opening its doors, the International Animal Health and Food Safety Institute has had literally thousands of people take advantage of the facilities and academic programs that are being developed. K-State Olathe offers a unique opportunity for scientists from industry and academia to work side by side, focused on addressing real-life issues and training the workforce. Progress is being achieved. K-State Olathe, now open for business.
Choose your direction and navigate the road to success. Discover opportunities. Make connections. Reach your destination. Earn a degree online from Kansas State University. Choose your direction. We'll help navigate.
Let's go outside and take one last look outside with our weatherman, Lance Leonard.
Yeah, Lance, what can we expect, man?
Well, there's still snow a little bit, and we got some warm weather coming in. It's getting a little windy out here, and I managed to resuscitate our little snowman guy. He's right here. Oh, no! Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Well, I guess I'll have to toss it back to you. That's all I have for weather.
Well, that's all the time we have for in the show.
You can find Channel 8 News on Facebook at Channel 8 News KSU and at Channel 8 KSU on Twitter. For all the Channel 8 News team, thanks for watching.
Join us next week for our next edition of Channel 8 News. So, are you doing anything interesting this weekend?
You know, probably not. Basketball season's over, so just kind of been hanging out, so been nice and chill. Probably just sleep.
I'm going to Chicago to compete with the K-State Quiz Bowl team.
There you go.
We're going to the national competition, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Good luck, man. Good luck.
Thanks.